Hello and welcome to the Build With Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a model kit and to hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego of the site, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi or use other people's emotes, or if you feel like being a lurker, you can just go ahead and lurk. Ghost Valve is here. Welcome, Ghost Valve. Happy to have you here. We are currently at 42 subscribers. The goal is to get to 50. I shut up about it at 50. The goal is always 50. If you'd like to become a subscriber, you could do that right now, and that would be cool. Here's the thing you could also do for the rest of this month is you could gift 2 subs to be entered into a promotion where you get, oh wow, 60 days of the top tier premium, which is a Mega Fan premium membership for Crunchyroll. You gift 2 subs tonight, you get that for 60 days, which is a very good value for you and a very good value for me. I forget when that is expiring. I am going to check right now. That is expiring November 30th at midnight PT. So we got it for a while. We'll be good to go. Thursday stream will be the last time that is available. And it'll show up in your drops and rewards page, which is cool. And the easiest way to do it is to give 2 subs right in this very channel. I'm participating along with a lot of other people. That's why we're in the just chatting category, so that it works. I want to thank you for joining me tonight on this Monday evening. Hopefully a few more friends decide to join us tonight. Hey, Crazy Kook just subscribed to Tier 1. That's 3 months saying, woot, 3 months. Thank you very much, Crazy. We're going to throw a Bear Cave Lego site Tier 2 blue emote in the chat, and thank you along with that. Appreciate you for that one. Very kind of you. So we'll throw some emotes in the chat. Appreciate 3 months is great. Thank you for that. So, what did it, Pat? You might be asking. You might say, Pat, you say you're not going to drop any frames. What happened? Was it your router? Was it the Wi-Fi extender? Was it the fact that you are too far from the Wi-Fi and suddenly gave problems? Was it OBS? Was it Twitch and the server nearest you? And the answer to all of those is no. It wasn't any of those things. Hey, Lord Crashton, welcome. So, I did need to get a new router. My router is old. A new wireless router benefited me, certainly. It was not the Wi-Fi extender. I borrowed a Wi-Fi extender just to swap out, and it was the same issues. So it wasn't that. My Wi-Fi extender still doing its job. I got a new modem today. My service provider sent over a technician who changed out a few connectors outside from the line into the house, swapped those over, and then gave me a new modem. And now my problems are gone. And to make sure of that, I have used a function that is in beta here in OBS that will lower the bit rate in order to make sure that I don't drop frames. So the bit rate may take a chunk, and it may start looking a little, maybe like the local recording might actually decrease in quality a bit. But on the other hand, I don't drop any frames. And then also my upload speed isn't ass. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I uploaded a 13-minute video last night. Lord, hey, it's Lashbrook. 72 is a fun number. Throw the Bear Cave Lego site the moat in the chat. Thank Lashbrook for 72 months. That is wild and wonderful. Thank you very much, Lashbrook, for all of those many, many months. I appreciate you very much. That's a lot of months. Yeah, I uploaded last night I uploaded a 13-minute video, or yesterday afternoon, I think it was 13-minute video, and it took me an hour. Now that video was over a gig, but uploading a gig in like an hour and 20 minutes, I think it was, is not good. That's not good. If I uploaded that same video tonight, it would be much faster, and that would be cool. Meanwhile, I uploaded a very high quality 2-minute video in like a minute and a half. So that's way better. So long story short, Bit rate might lower a little bit if it has to. Frames will not drop. New modem, along with my new router, we might be okay. And you may notice in this stream, beyond the fact that I am not stressing about drop frames and not freaking out about drop frames, which will just increase my overall well-being and feelings, might just make me feel better. You also may notice the lighting is a little different because I'm experimenting, and I want to hear your feedback as we build. I have switched to a different color for the overhead light. Oh, let's see what's happening here. What happened here? Something weird happened in the dashboard. What happened there? I got disconnected from chat. I'm back. Okay, weird. That was weird. We'll see if that is a problem that continues. I don't know what happened there. Hi. That was odd for me. I don't know. I got disconnected from chat, which is an odd thing to say, but hey, I'm back. And then I will put in an emote to make sure that's cool. Okay, so I'm switching up the lighting a little bit. I switched to a different overhead light. This overhead light is not as natural as my previous lighting. It is definitely a white light instead of a yellow light, but I think it brightens up the space more, which is good. And also, it's going to make my pictures at the end of the streams look way better because it'll be in a white lighting instead of a yellow light. So I think my photos will look better for posterity. And so that's good. So let's get into it. Let's start working on the real grade. I was so flustered on Thursday. No stream on Saturday. I didn't stream on Saturday. So last stream was on Thursday. I neglected to mention, so these dragon heads that you can see here, this is the dragon head. There's also the foot, and when it transforms, it's the head. It has horns, and I didn't even notice that it had horns. That looks cool. So in another mode, it'll look like that. And then in the regular foot mode, it'll look like that. And that's cool. We are now also going to start working on the ankles, and then we can say the legs are done, and we can move up to the waist. So throughout the course of this stream, let me know what you think. I'll give you just a little change here of what it looked like. This is the previous lighting, which was balanced, but again, more natural. And then this is the lighting we're currently using. It does make this spot brighter than everything else and maybe washes out my hands, but I think it's an improvement, and I would like to hear your thoughts. Feel free to let me know your thoughts as we build, and we're going to work on this leg first, ankle, I should say, and then we'll work on the other ankle after that. So we're going to start with, this ankle here. Oh, wait, no, this leg here. We're going to build this leg first, put on the ankle on. But yeah, please let me know your thoughts as we work on this kit. How do you feel about the lighting? As I begin to talk to you about our first story, of course, tonight I will be talking about 3 anime in the second hour, 2 from Saturday and 1 from Sunday, Monday. And then the other show that I normally talk about on Monday, I will talk about on Thursday, along with those shows, just to give you the heads up on that. And then no manga to talk tonight, because I do have 3 anime to chat about. And we're going to start with a Twitter update. It has been a while since I have done any chat about Twitter, and I felt like I should talk about that here. And the only real story is the non-news that Elon Musk is a conspiracy theory loving anti-Semite. We all knew that. But his recent responding to, and the lighting seems a little blue heavy, says Lashmark. Okay, maybe I can take it down a little bit. Oh, no, that's the wrong thing. This is the lighting I want to use. Do it like that. Is that a little still too blue heavy for you? Everyone is grabbing their money and running. Basically, Elon said some more shit that everybody who's paying attention certainly knew. that was his MO and his modus operandi and his whole fucking steez is that everybody kind of knew that, but now it's just like, you know, a bit more unmasked. And Media Matters was like, hey, various advertisers, do you know that your ads are running next to motherfucking like anti-Semitism and Nazi tweets from a lot of people? Do you know that? To which Apple, Disney, and Comcast, Warner Brothers Discovery, Paramount Global, and Lionsgate Entertainment were like, yeah, we're good. I think we're good here. Now, of course, Elon Musk doesn't like that. Why? Here, I should say, why would Elon Musk be happy about this? But he's not happy about it, of course. And his response is not, let's have our people talk to these folks, try to work something out. Let's like push it even further, try to do some damage control. I'm going to shut up on Twitter for a while. No, he's going to sue Media Matters. And then his gal, Linda Yaccarino, is just like, yeah, Media Matters can't prove that. They can't prove that those ads aired. And we have the proof that they didn't air there. She's not saying those tweets don't exist. She's not saying that that information isn't there. She's simply saying that you can't, like, we make sure that terrible tweets like that don't show up next to ads like this, which is patently untrue. But that's their that's her big explanation. Is like, well, that garbage that you're mentioning couldn't have been, you know, that's next to other stuff. It's like, oh, okay. F9 is here. F9. So that's fun and nonsense. And there was a hands-on meeting today at X, talking about the media watchdog group Media Matters, the legal battle which is starting. Elon Musk was this is of course all from sources, so you can say, hey, I don't know about this one, Pat. This doesn't seem right. This is from Linda to staffers. Elon Musk not in attendance, apparently. F9. Let's find F9 before I keep talking about this stuff. But it was kind of like a admission. She's just like, hey, some advertisers are... She used the term pausing, which is always funny. But it was also probably true, right? It is probably true that at some point, these things are not saying we're stepping away. These are, we're pausing. That is generally the consensus. It is not, I don't think it is facetious to say, all right, we're just going to say, let's say pausing. She's like, yeah, I mean, oh, there's some undergate on here. Let's get this. Let's find the undergates on this, little snippies here. Clean up any undergating we see, because if we don't, then I have to clean it up later, and it's more annoying to clean it up later. So let's try to find any undergating. Okay, we found the undergating. Let's see. We need the 2 lines as the front of this. This then goes like this and somehow connects into here. So we'll figure that out. How do you connect? I'm saying this kit is gorgeous, but on occasion, there's like a thing I have to do, and I'm not clear how to do it. And that happens, I think, too much on this kit, where there is just like, what do you want from me? Like, how does this connect to that? I would say that's my biggest complaint with this kit. Is there are times where I'm like, what do you want me to be doing here? All right, make sure this is D12. That's the only D12. This shows this 2 in here. All right. I'm just going to fiddle with this, try to get this connected, and we'll be able to move on to our next part of the build. Anyway, some customers still pause their investments because some of the misleading and manipulated information in an article. So that's basically they're saying, do you use clear coating? And if so, what do you use? No, I don't. So I don't use any paint on any of my kits. I use Gundam markers, which I enjoy very much. And I don't use water slides. I primarily, I use the given regular stickers. Occasionally I'll use slides, but it's very rare that I do that. So because I don't use that, I don't use a clear coat on any of my kits. Also, part of the reason why I don't, where I think some people certainly would, is I build more kits than I would say most people. All right. There it is. Okay. I got to kind of go up. I have to go from under on this. Got it. All right. I had to go from under on this, and that did not make any sense to me, and now it makes more sense to me. There we go. I think I just build more kits than most people, and because I build so many kits, it doesn't make sense necessarily for me to clear coat. So yeah, unfortunately, I cannot give you a product to use or recommendation. All right. This kit is basically all small pieces, and that rules. I mean, it legitimately kicks ass that this kit is so many small pieces. I think that's awesome, but that also means that this kit is like a bit of a nightmare to put together. And that's honestly, let's just say, that's real grades, baby. Real grades are a lot of work. This will be a long process. This is stream 2, and I'm struggling to get a couple components together right, and we'll see if and once I do it this way, then the second build will be better. But yeah, and then I go and reference, and I'm looking, and I'm like, okay, well, this is going to go in here. This is going to go in there. These are going to clamp together. So what is this piece supposed to be? And it's supposed to be on that side, and just like a little bit of that. So if that's the case, then it should be mostly on the inside. Look at this. Look at this. But then it doesn't really stay too long. But maybe it doesn't have to stay too long once I clamp it down. So maybe I'm just not getting it. And okay, is it just like that? Well, we're going to find out, friends. Yep, it's just like that. Oh, that's not fun. I'm going to go ahead and say, friends, this one piece is not fun. This little piece here, not fun to put in. Just going to tell you right now. It barely sits in there. You're building the Darino, and I need to clear coat the decals unless they get scratched. Okay, yeah. I don't have an answer for you. Sorry. This is a very frustrating little piece. Anyway, basically they're like, hey, we want to talk about this. Like, don't worry, everything's cool. Let's see. Well, this. Yeah, so other than this little piece, this is going to snap together just fine. And I don't want to, like, not put this part on, because I think that would be very bad. So it wants to go like. And then I am going to do the thing. I don't do this enough, friends. I'm going to double check. Yep, that is part 46. Double check that H46 is the piece I took out. I definitely feels like it because it does fit in there. It just doesn't fit in there well. And I was like, well, let me just make sure that I am putting this piece in properly because I have screwed up before. And then I'm looking at the photo, which is not going to be which I think is supposed to be like that. So then this goes into this piece here. This. But it doesn't fit in like I want it to. I wonder if this is just like, it's one of those things sometimes I'm like, is this user error? Is this Pat Baer error? Like, what's going on here? Like, what am I, like, is it going to be the thing where it suddenly slips into place and I was like, oh, what was I doing wrong? Or is it going to be a thing where I fiddle with this for like a very long time and then eventually I'm just like, oh, I don't know. I just don't know. I just don't know what I did wrong. Because it could be that I'm going in for the wrong angle or I'm just looking at it weird. I'm going to try to, like, slide it in the other side. Maybe that's... Do I hold it like that? And then I pop this in like that. Maybe I just need to approach it from the other direction. Okay, that worked. That was so frustrating. So the next time when I do the other one, which will be very soon, I'm going to do it from the top instead of the bottom. I am going to ignore their instruction and do it differently. That's fucking weird. And before I attach this here, I am going to panel line very quickly because it'll be easier to panel line it now than when I attach it. It won't be mud, this will be fine. All right, so we gave our update there. Everyone's scared. Talking about it, a bunch of right-wing people were like, we'll advertise instead, but they don't offer. A fun thing about that is they don't have as much money to spend on those things, and also a lot of those right-wing companies are not value adds. So little column A, little column B, probably not great. But some of those advertisers will come back eventually because they always seem to do that. All right, so we're just giving this a little bit of paint. It doesn't need much here. A little marker action. We'll clean that up with an eraser, and then we'll move on to the other one. And hopefully I will have learned from this one what I did wrong, which would be great. If I could learn something, that would be pretty cool. We'll see if I've learned anything. All right. I want to talk to you about a pay-per-view. The reason I was not here on Saturday, I did not stream on Saturday because I was busy watching wrestling with friends. I will not be doing that this Saturday. I will be streaming this Saturday, so you'll be able to see me on Saturday. Don't worry about that. I'll be back for that. Because I'm interested, but I don't need to see Survivor Series, so I won't be there for that. But I am here now to talk about Full Gear 2023, which happened on Saturday, and I will say, for the most part, pretty great show. Highs and lows in this one. Honestly, generally, I would say that AEW does a fine enough job with their pay-per-views. They do a pretty damn good job, and and the fact that there were actually more than a couple matches that I didn't really like is surprising. Generally, I leave a pay-per-view feeling pretty damn positive. So we'll go through it. I'll talk about it. Some I'll have a lot to say about. Some I won't. I will just say right now that there is some news coming out of the event in the fact that there are two things. One, The Continental Classic, which is a wrestling event the AEW is starting, which is just a round-robin tournament with, I believe, 2 brackets of 6 wrestlers, and they wrestle all each other, and you get points, and then you move on. And the winner was just the Continental Champion, or the Continental Cup winner. That's all they had said. Well, they've changed it. When you win, you will win the Continental title, which currently does not exist outside of just whatever. That's a new thing. So you win the Continental title. We need D12 here. You will also win the Ring of Honor World title and the never open weight. Yeah. New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong title. Those 2 titles are being held by Eddie Kingston, who is entering the Classic, and when he loses, the person will move on with the belts, and the winner will have all 3 titles, which will be defended all together and unified as the Continental Cup. That is a big All Japan thing that has been in other wrestling promotions. It is kind of cool for a 2-year-old belt from New Japan, their secondary brand. It is kind of cool from the perspective of the Continental title to be with such other luminary titles. A title that, again, does not exist yet. There is no champion of that title. It's fucking weird as hell that the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight title, a title that meant something to a lot of people, is now going to be part of one of 3 belts in a thing, just kind of out of nowhere for kind of no good reason, is very strange to me. It is a very odd decision that they're doing. For the legacy of that belt, it's quite strange. I'll say I'm not really a fan of it. The idea. In better news, the mysterious person, the new signee, he won't start until February, but it's Will Ospreay, who some people may know from wrestling on occasion in AEW. His deal with New Japan expires, but because New Japan Eddie needs to start throwing all his belts at every match. I don't disagree with you, Lasbrook. I should just say Will Ospreay is a talent. I think he is fantastic in the ring. I am excited that he is with New Japan, or that he is, once his deal with New Japan is done, because they have such a good working relationship with AEW, they allowed him to negotiate. Yes, Crazy Coup. We did talk about that on Thursday. That Ronda Rousey is not signed with AEW or Ring of Honor, but Ronda Rousey did appear after, we didn't talk about that because that happened on Friday. After Collision and Rampage, which were on Friday, Ronda Rousey came out for a match. She was in a tag match. It will air this Thursday on Ring of Honor, on Honor Club. She is not signed with AEW. She still could be. Right now, she is mostly focused on having fun with her friend and enjoying wrestling, because apparently she hasn't ever really enjoyed it, but she is enjoying this. Hey, just another spicy. It sucks. I have said that it sucks. I will continue to say that it sucks. Did I fucking put this on the wrong one? All right, I'll fix it. Ronda anywhere near AW sucks. It's a fucking bummer. And I hope that this was a legitimate, just a one time. I legitimately hope in my heart of hearts that this was a one-time thing and it will not be repeated, because it sucks. Because she sucks. No, just another spicy. As I said, Ronda Rousey is not appearing in AEW. Ronda Rousey is appearing in Ring of Honor, which, of course, cross-promotes with AEW, but it's not AEW. Ring of Honor is owned solely by Tony Khan, who is the CEO of AEW, but not the sole owner of AEW, and he's not the exclusive owner of AEW, but he is the manager, and he is the CEO of the company and managing director of the company. But he owns outright Ring of Honor as their like feeder system. And Ronda appeared after Collision in a thing that was taped for this week's Ring of Honor, and it sucks. So on the plus side, Will Ospreay not going to WWE. Will Ospreay signing with AEW. That is cool for AEW. That is cool for Will Ospreay. On the negative, apparently just it was worth it, I guess. They're in LA, and one of her best friends is in the company already, Marina Shafir. So boom, a thing that started on an indie show moved over to Ring of Honor. Here's hoping this was a one-time. Get fucked. Now, about the event. I'll go through this. I'm going to try to go through this quickly. There will be some matches that I will not talk too much about. I will just say it happened. And there are other matches that I will talk maybe too much about. Eddie Kingston defeated Jay Lethal with Jeff Jarrett, Karen Jarrett, Satnam Singh, and Sanjay Dutt all there. Not scheduled to appear in his corner, but did appear to help out was Ortiz. Ortiz and Eddie Kingston have mended their fences, apparently. They have come to some sort of common ground, which rules, because Ortiz lost to Santana in that feud that didn't mean anything and kind of sucked. But now he gets to hang out with Eddie Kingston again. That is great for Ortiz. It is also good for Eddie to have someone in his corner. People thought, up until Friday, people assumed, okay, this is going to be the main event for the December Ring of Honor show. And then it got announced, oh no, it was going to be in the pre-show for this one. It's like, well, I guess more eyes are going to be on that. I guess that's interesting. But it was surprising. It was surprising that that's what was happening. So now we know, because of the Continental Cup involving both of Eddie's belts, they wanted to get that Jay Lethal match in first, and then they can go from there. I assume in December, well, no, World's End. I guess Eddie won't defend the title at World's End. Well, World's End is when they decide the cup, and in only a couple weeks is the Ring of Honor pay-per-view. I imagine Eddie and Ortiz will be in a tag team match or something. I don't know what they're going to do, but I don't know if he'll be defending that belt during the tournament. Maybe he will. Claudio Castagnoli defeated Buddy Matthews by submission. That match happened. I don't have anything to say about it. It was a pre-show match that existed. That's about it. MJF and his temporary tag team partner, Samoa Joe, defeated the Guns, Austin and Colton Gunn, by submission to retain the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions. Now, of course, Samoa Joe is not the tag team champion. He was filling in for Adam Cole. Why they're allowed to do that? No idea. Why he hasn't had to give up the belts? No idea. Why would the answer no idea is going to come up a lot as I get into the frankly terrible logic used throughout the evening. Just because seems to be the answer to a lot of things that happened last night, which I don't need to tell you. I don't love that a bunch of nonsense happened for no good reason with no good justification. So after this match, the Guns, Samoa Joe leaves, and then the Guns sneak back in and they beat up MJF because he's doing double duty. He's also going to be in the main event against their boy Jay White. So they want to beat him up, and they beat him up, and they Pillmanize him, and they hit him with a chair. They drop onto a chair onto his thigh or knee or leg in general or hip. Who knows? It changed throughout the course of the night what was hurt, But he got hurt in that. And, of course, that's a shame. We don't like that. So he leaves. And then later in the night, and I'm just going to skip ahead a bit, it's revealed that he is not cleared to wrestle. So for whatever reason, and the thing that doesn't fucking make sense, but is necessary for the story they want to tell, but doesn't make any fucking sense, Jay White is going to become the new champion by default. That doesn't make any sense. Why can't MJF reschedule the match? He's the champion. Why can't the match start? He doesn't show up. Jay White wins by countout. No belt changes hands. Why, in this instance, if MJF is unable to compete, why does he lose the title? Especially in AEW, when champions cannot compete, they have a thing called the interim championship. So why isn't Jay White going to be the interim champion? Or why isn't he fighting someone else for the right to do that? Literally, that's how you know that MJF wasn't really hurt, is because they didn't run an eliminator tournament to crown an interim champion. And that doesn't make any sense. So you know who's going to step up? Someone's going to step up and defend the belt for him, which shouldn't be allowed, should not be a thing. And it's going to be Adam Cole. And Adam Cole is, of course, has a legit, for real injury. He had surgery on his ankle. He's not cleared to wrestle. Everyone knows he's not going to wrestle. Also, why are they letting him wrestle if he's not cleared? Why are they keeping MJF from wrestling but allowing him to wrestle? Again, it doesn't fucking make any sense. And the only explanation is, well, we need it to happen for the story. The non-medically cleared Adam Cole baby. Yes, Adam Cole, who is in crutches and a cast, is going to wrestle the main event. Adam Cole is there, by the way. He came out to cheer during the pre-show, which I forgot to mention. So that doesn't make any fucking sense. So the whole night they're like, either you're getting a match we didn't advertise, which doesn't make any sense, or we're going to swerve you again, and MJF is going to come out, who shouldn't be medically cleared, to compete in a match he shouldn't have to be in. None of it makes sense, and it sucks. And my overall thought is they got to stop letting MJF book his own matches. They got to ease off and have other people do it for a while, because something's fucked up. Something isn't translating, because none of this shit makes any goddamn sense. In a company that, I'll admit, often makes sense. It often does make sense. This does not. Sting, Darby Allin, Adam Copeland, formerly known as Edge, with Ric Flair, defeated the Patriarchy, which is an excellent name for a stable. They defeated the Patriarchy, which is Christian Cage, formerly known as just Christian, Luchasaurus, and Nick Wayne. I mean, this is a good start. Darby had to get on a plane because he's going to try to climb Mount Everest, or maybe just the summit. I don't know. I don't fucking give a shit about that dude too much. Christian's entrance music was the best part of the whole match. He had a choir of children sing his song, which has no lyrics. So they just basically did an a cappella version of his song, and then it kicked in, and they were singing with it. That was very fucking good. That is some excellent nonsense. Edge had face paint on because, of course, Sting has face paint and Darby Allin has face paint. So he had somewhat complimentary face paint to the two of them. I thought that was a nice touch. If you're going to do it like that. I don't hate that. I didn't dislike the face paint. I thought that was pretty good. Let's see. The match itself was the match. I don't really have much to say about the match itself. Luchasaurus taking the pin was surprising. I thought for sure it was going to be Nick Wayne, because that's kind of why you have Nick Wayne there, is to take the pin. I'll say that this is reportedly the last time that Sting will be wrestling in the state of California, because they know the dates he's going to be doing. So they're announcing when he is not going to be appearing again. They make that announcement. It is cool for the Chicago fans to see Sting. It is very fucking cool for Luchasaurus and Nick Wayne is 18 years old. That boy is 18. He's a good wrestler at 18. And one of his first matches in, a series of matches in AEW was with Sting. And that's fucking cool. That's some cool ass shit. I'm into that cool ass shit. Good for him. And he didn't even take the pin. That's great. Makes Luchasaurus look bad, but that's also AEW in general. And yeah, I don't want to see Ric Flair. I would love Ric Flair to fucking take a break. That would be great. Ric Flair, get fucked. And Edge, I don't know. Figure something else out. You won. Congratulations. I feel like that is not the end of this. I feel like it can't be the end of this, but I wouldn't be mad if it was the end of this. And then Orange Cassidy with Hook defeated Jon Moxley with Wheeler Yuta by pinfall to retain the AEW International Championship. They did it. They had him win. I'm going to be honest with you, folks. Thought Jon Moxley was just going to win that belt back. Would not be surprised if he does win that belt back at just a fucking Dynamite. But no, they put the fucking belt. They kept the belt on Orange, and that's, again, to me, a pleasant surprise. I did not think they would do that. I'm happy that. I thought the match was fine. Moxley bled because, of course, he did. He no-sold a bunch of Orange punches, which is weird since the Orange punch is Orange Cassidy's fucking clear finisher. It's a knockout punch, and it didn't knock out Jon Moxley. I don't know. Maybe he's going to be switching up. Maybe the Superman punch or the Orange punch is going to be, go away and just be a transitional move. Okay, well, we're gonna pause here. Thank you, Bunny Fiend. We'll get back to building in a moment, but I want to thank Bunny Fiend. Let's throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe emote into the chat. We are thanking Bunny Fiend for gifting 10 subs to the community, helping us reach our sub goal. We can take those off. So let's throw the Bear Cave Lego Scythe emote, and then I'll read the names of the people who got a subscription thanks to the generosity of Bunny Fiend. And I'm going to play the cheer again. Bald Ridge, the Goof Cat, Kenji Classic, Solius, Liver Die, good name, Malachi, Gallifreyan, Losug, Ugly Tacoma, and Kumahara, who is my friend Ian. Thank you very much, Bunny Fiend, for dropping those gifted subs, getting us to 53 subscribers, which means I can turn this off as well. We are now past our gift sub goal. The goal is always 50. I shut up at 50. I will now shut up about gift subs, or at least getting to our goal. That's very kind of you. All right, so this is our back, which folds because of the transformation of the flight mode. So that took a lot of effort to get that, but it is cool how that folds together. I got to get through this here. Timeless Tony Storm with Luther defeated Hikaru Shida by pinfall. Tony Storm fucking rules. This gimmick is awesome. Now, some people will say that the Timeless Tony Storm gimmick, where in her mind she is stuck in an era that she did not live in and is a starlet actress, or like an older, formerly starlet actress, and is lost her dang mind. Some people say that gimmick doesn't need a belt, but I will say this. Every actress worth her salt wants to be nominated and awarded. So that's her award. That's her Oscar. That's her Emmy. That's her Daytime Emmy. That's her People's Choice Award. Now Tony Storm is a champion. Last says, I am one of those people. Like I said, there are people who don't think that gimmick needs a belt. I am one that says that it does not hurt it. That having that belt does not hurt. Shida got defenses in this time. Also a thing that I don't love, but AEW does, is short title reigns for Hikaru Shida. Is it fair? No. Is it going to happen again? Yes. Is Hikaru Shida a transitional champion? Often, yes. I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's good. But, look, at one point here, we had Timeless Toni Storm doing her thing. Shida just defending belts against her friends and people she liked. Chris Statlander just defending her belt wishy-washy. And then, and we'll talk about it, I'll just jump to it. Sky Blue maybe being manipulated by Julia Hart. That all happened at once. And also, forgot, Ruby Soho's slow burn love affair, perhaps starting with Cool Hand Angelo Parker. That's so many storylines for women. It's the most storylines women have ever had in AEW. I can say that. Because otherwise, generally, AEW is who has the title, who wants the title, and maybe one other thing. Like Timeless Toni Storm wasn't involved with a belt, was just existing for a while there, and that's pretty rare for them. There was a little bit there with like Anna Jay. Anna Jay had a storyline within the other people that left the Jericho Appreciation Society, but even she isn't around right now. For the women, they're actually getting attention. Yes. No. These are storylines that involve women, and there were 2 storylines that involved women that did not involve a belt, and that's amazing. It's also weird to me that this match went on earlier than the TBS match. I mean, the TBS match had to follow. Here's the thing: if you flip it, then the world title goes on after the insane tag match. It is a thing that you have to remember when building cards is you don't start with, when you're building a wrestling card, you don't just go least important to most important. You have to put in matches that are there to die. You have to put in matches that are there to be a place for people to get up and go get something to eat or drink or just fucking decompress from nonsense fighting. In the same way the Golden Jets, which is the Golden Jets isn't second to last because Kenny Omega is there and the Bucks are there. That's important that those guys are there. We're putting our first sticker on, which is sticker 15. They went second to last because the match before it was sickening, and they needed something in between those. I can't really read this. It's that one. So they needed a way for people to cool down in between. So Timeless Toni Storm and Hikaru Shida go on after Orange Cassidy and Moxley, because they are building momentum at that point. They are still building the momentum. This goes here. Okay. At that point, and they continued to build the momentum. And then you have the tag match, and everyone's deflated and everyone's beat. And then you just throw in Julia Hart, Chris Statlander, and Sky Blue just to see what happens. Julia Hart wins. Julia Hart's last 2 matches are her longest matches she's ever had. This one was over 11 minutes. The previous one that she won to get into that match was also about 11 minutes. That is the most that she has been given to wrestle in her wrestling career. And she is stepping up in ways that I am pleasantly surprised about. I have been a fan of the gimmick for a while, but now I can also say that I am a fan of Julia Hart as a wrestler because she is stepping up and improving with every match. Sky Blue has had a longer time to get better. She has maybe not grown as quickly as some people would like. She still feels a little green. Her match with Red Velvet was rough because both she and Red Velvet are not at the point where they can be calling things in the ring. They are not ring generals at this point. So to put them together on Dynamite was, I think, kind of fucked, but they did it. And yeah, my hope is that Chris Statlander moves over to the TNT the world title. I would love to see Chris Statlander versus Tony Storm. That is an easy way to also bring in the boy Danhausen. That is a way to bring in Danhausen. Let's just be like, oh yeah. Also, yeah, it's like, well, I don't know what's going on with you, but and then Danhausen's just like, black and white. That's weird, or whatever he's gonna say. All right, I gotta get through this really quick. Ricky Starks and Big Bill retain their titles in a pretty fucking wild match. I would say that was pretty damn wild. The ladder match, the 4-way ladder match. I hope everyone's okay. I feel like at least one member of FTR is probably fucking busted up, and I could see rib issues for Brody King. I hope everyone's okay. That match was wild. I'm glad that Big Bill and Ricky Starks retained because I think they've got a lot. Yes, Statlander still looked strong as hell in that outing. She still came out of that match looking like she could have won. The 3-way fight certainly, it was to protect her, and I think it did. She can move on without it being a problem. We can also see her versus Julia Hart, where Julia Hart wins as well. This is G. I need G37 and G36. Working on the waist here. I'm going to talk about this real quick. Golden Jets. Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega defeated the Young Bucks, Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson. The stipulation for that match was if the Golden Jets won, then they get the number 1 contendership and the World Tag Team title opportunity that the Young Bucks won. And if the Young Bucks had won, then the Golden Jets would have to disband because they're mad that Chris Jericho, who they hate, is hanging out and tagging with Kenny Omega, who they ostensibly love. The storytelling in this one I thought was pretty fun and pretty strong. How Kenny was still trying to be friends and was kind of mad, and he was even mad at Jericho at moments for how he was wrestling. The Bucks were cheating. They pretty blatantly are just cheating and being heels, and then they had a temper tantrum afterwards. And they're taking a break, which is a joke, but I think it's funny. They'll probably take some time off, but they're just going to turn full heel. The match was fine. I'll say this about the match. It has the right results. Kenny Omega is still stuck with Chris Jericho, which is bad, but whatever. I think them versus Big Bill and Ricky Starks will be fun. It'll be a fun matchup. Kenny Omega won 2 big matches in a row. That's good for Kenny. The Cleaner has not necessarily had a great year as far as match wins because that's how the storylines go. Yeah, I think that's fine. It was whatever. Chris Jericho shouldn't be doing the lion salt anymore. His moonsault, his lion salt looks terrible and looks like he is hurting people and hurting himself. Hello, Vicky. Welcome. Speaking of hurting themselves, I honestly feel like if I talk about Swerve Strickland with Prince Nana beating Hangman Adam Page by knockout in a Texas death match, I feel like if I talk about this match for too long, I will get demonetized. I feel like it might be against Twitch's terms of service for me to talk about that match because it was a lot. I will say this. I'm not a deathmatch fan anymore. I was at one point in my life, but I'm now 43, and I don't want to see people. I don't want to see a match with a staple gun with staples in it. If you want to just have a staple gun, sure. But a staple gun with staples in it, I don't want to see as much blood as I saw in that match. No, I don't know knives, Lord Crashington. I don't want to see blood transfer from one person to another in any way, shape, or form. Real blood, real human blood, moved from one body to another body in a way that is unacceptable. Cinder blocks, sure. Fucking up your own leg to put a manager through a table, former wrestler who doesn't take bumps much anymore, taking a big bump, okay. It was fucking 30 goddamn minutes. It was slightly longer than the main event. It was too long, and it was too brutal. I love they have the balls. The fucking balls, though. To have him win. Swerve Strickland has beaten Hangman Adam Page in back-to-back pay-per-views, and that's wild and great for Swerve. It's fucking awesome for Swerve. It is character is interesting for Adam Page because does he just turn heel and join the Bucks? Does he have an existential crisis? What happens to Hangman Adam Page now Swerve Strickland in kayfabe, I should be clear, in kayfabe, Swerve Strickland broke into Adam Page's house and delivered a monologue over the bed with a camera in the bed, a crib of his son, his child not there, but as if he was talking to the child that was not in the room. Swerve Strickland entered a house, and Adam Page lost that match. You're not a pure deathmatch fan, but this one worked for me because of the storyline. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, at this point, it doesn't work for me anymore. At this point, it doesn't work for me, brother. I just don't want to see that. We still have to put these side parts on here. I'm going to do that a little bit while I talk about the main event. I'm not going to get too much detail about this main event. I just want to say Adam Cole didn't wrestle. MJF returned. MJF came down to the ring and a bunch of people tried to stop him. They were like, don't do it. You're so hurt, MJF. You're so hurt, MJF. Don't do it. And he valiantly and bravely said, no, I'm going to do it. So what I'm saying is no one tried to stop Adam Cole. Adam Cole, who is real injured, came out to have a match and then got relieved of duty, and then MJF, who played hurt the entire time, fought Jay White with assistance from Austin Gunn and Colton Gunn, and won. He won the most 80s fucking match in the world. He did moves he shouldn't be able to do with his injury. He legit hurt himself. There was announce table. He was supposed to do an elbow from the top to the announce table onto Jay White. The table broke. So he just did it to the floor, fucking himself up, and then he did like a bulldog cutter off the top to the floor again. So he just put himself in harm's way for real in a match where he was ostensibly very injured and should not have been able to do anything. It looked like Adam Cole was cheating he was trying to cheat for MJF, but it kept looking like he was actually cheating for Jay White. To the point where it was like, oh, okay, this is how we get there. All right, he's the masked guy. It's been Adam Cole this whole time. The camera just didn't pan out to his leg. Okay, Adam Cole is turning his back on MJF. He didn't. Adam Cole is just a stupid friend. He's just a dumbass who would put himself at risk for his friend, and then somehow, for whatever reason, Adam Cole is bad at helping. Adam Cole, guy who's been a heel before and is a very good heel, he was just very bad at cheating. He's just very bad at helping his friend cheat to the point where he almost blew the match on 2 occasions for his friend. Again, I said this at the beginning of talking about this. Do I think this is the worst main event in AEW history? No. Jon Moxley is in the worst main event in AEW history. The worst ending is the exploding barbed wire death match. because it didn't explode. But the actual worst one is from Fyter Fest in 2019 because Jon Moxley and Joey Janela have negative chemistry. They have infinite negative chemistry. It was one of the worst things I've ever seen. That is still the worst main event of an AEW pay-per-view. This was one of the worst. Logically, there wasn't in a company full of logic, and also this storyline has had a lot of logic to it. MJF is a good storyteller on most days. This was a fucking mess, and it was a bummer. No one should be proud of themselves for this. Jay White should have fought harder to be in a fucking match that made any sort of sense. People should have shouted MJF down if this was MJF's idea. If this wasn't MJF's idea, if this was someone else's idea, then they got like whoever's idea this match was. Whoever booked this match the way they did should really evaluate if they actually care about any sort of good storytelling, because I didn't see it that night. It was a fucking bummer. Somebody wrote, wow, I can't believe they headlined with Swerve Strickland and Hangman Adam Page, and those other two matches just didn't happen. And I don't think the Golden Jets versus the Young Bucks was a bad match by any means. But fuck. Ugh, I've been wanting to rant. I really, they never like officially made a change, right? No, the bell didn't ring. So the bell didn't ring. So MJF had the match. MJF started the match with the bell ringing. So that's what the match was. So no, it changed again. He didn't fight Adam Cole. He fought MJF. And also, even if the bell had rang, their logic doesn't matter in this thing because it's just fuckery. Logic doesn't matter at all. It doesn't make any sense. It's all bad. It was a bad show. It ended badly. It was a good enough show that ended very badly, and I'm disappointed with how it ended because it could have been better. AEW is rarely that overbooked, and it was unbelievably. It was a Roman Reigns match. It was a Roman Reigns main event. And MJF and Jay White don't need to be doing Roman Reigns main events. It makes Jay White look like one of the worst wrestlers in AEW, and he is not. He was undefeated in singles competition and then lost to a man with an injury being helped by a man with an injury. It's all very bad. Anyway, now's the part of the stream where I stop talking about wrestling and start talking about ways you can support what I do here. If you would like to become a subscriber, I want to tell you ways about that. If you want to support me, these are optional ways. Everything I'm going to talk about here is optional. You don't have to do any of these things. If you're currently a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the tier 2 blue emote in chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here through Cash Money or Prime Gaming Token. You could use your Prime Gaming Token like Lashbrook did. You could resub or subscribe with Cash Money like Crazy Kook 91 did. Or you could gift a sub into the community like Bunny Fiend did. Bunny Fiend gifted 10 subs tonight, which is wild and fantastic. And if you gift 2 subs in this community for the month of November, you can get a 60 free trial period for Crunchyroll at their Mega Fan Premium Membership tier, which is such a good deal for both you and me. Messed that up. It's real good, so consider that. Consider jumping in on that because you would benefit, and I would benefit. So yeah, gifting subs, doing all that. We've had no cheer this month in November. If you want to be the top of the cheer leaderboard, if you want to be a cheerleader, you could do that. You could also do a cheer. That's another way to support what I do here. That's the way to support me here on Twitch. But there are other ways. We'll go through that pretty quickly and then get back to building and talk about some anime. I have a Patreon at patreon.com/PatBear. There's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. There are different rewards for different tiers. Consider joining my Patreon. It would be cool if you did. There's also my YouTube channel, youtube.com/PatBear. Over on the YouTube, you can find that I put videos up there. Subscribe for free. You could become a member there. $2 a month, you get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. And the video that I'm putting up tomorrow that you'll be able to see, that you'll be able to see before other people, is pretty fucking good. It's pretty fucking funny. So check that one out. Those are all monthly ways to support me financially, but what about a one-time gift? Well, I have a Ko-fi and I have a Stream Elements and I have a PayPal. And you're welcome to join my Ko-fi, my Stream Elements, or my PayPal and throw a couple bucks that way. Everything I make through direct donations through YouTube, which includes AdSense, so watching my videos that bumps of the AdSense up, through Patreon and through Twitch, all goes into a fund. And I take money of that fund to buy model kits. I have a backlog. I just added to that backlog. I just recently got a kit from 2015 that looks pretty neat. I won't say what. And I got an entry grade kit that I will say. I got the entry grade RX-782 with weapons. I've built the RX-782 entry grade before. This one has some extra weapons. And I just wanted to build it again because the price is good. So I have that. I have a backlog full of stuff. Now this kit right here that I'm building right now, the Epyon, that was purchased by one of you, Ghost Valve, in fact. Ghost Valve picked that up. And Ghost Valve did the most convoluted way possible to support me financially. Ghost Valve went to USA Gundam Store, bought 2 gift cards, and then got the gift card codes in an email, and then whispered me here on Twitch with the gift card codes, which I then used to buy the Epyon, because they requested, like, hey, this is enough money for you to get the Epyon. And then I did. And I'm building it now thanks to Ghost Valve. That's the most convoluted way to help me. You want to know an easier way to buy a kit? To jump the queue, get a dedicated YouTube video about the thing, and then also become the next thing that I build? Well, the easiest way to do that is to go to my Amazon wish list, because that's very easy. I just recently put some stuff on there. There's a bunch of things. Like I said, I just put in a few new items. There's inexpensive Lego, expensive kits, expensive kits. I just put in the high grade of the Tick Balin, which is it's from Witch from Mercury. It's the jet. It's the transport, which you can clip on underneath or sit on top. I've never built a transport. It's inexpensive because it's not much to it, but I've never built one on stream. I'd like to build that and then put a Witch from Mercury kit on it, because I think that would be kind of cool. So that's on there. And it's also nice to have some inexpensive stuff. I have some Lego. I've got some model kits. Another thing I recently put on there, I believe, is expensive. It's the Figurized Kamen Rider Skull. Kamen Rider Skull has a mask that looks like a skull and a fedora. And that's it. Kamen Rider Skull is clearly inspired by Moonraker Michael Jackson, but also has a skull helmet. And I'd like to build that kit, and it's expensive, but I'd like to build it. That's on the wish list, because I would like to build that. And I've got some gear. There's some Black Friday deals happening with some gear at the bottom of the page, if you'd like to check that out. Added to the list is USB-powered speakers, because my speakers are kind of bad, and these, you can see in the photo, they're up like this. They can go on their sides, and then they will fit underneath my monitors, and they won't have to be behind my monitors, and that would be good for me. So I put that in there. If you would just like to support me, but you don't know anything about model kits, but you're like, I don't know, $21 for speakers, USB powered speakers, I'll get those for Pat. You could get those for Pat. I'm Pat. If you didn't know. And then also, I have an alternative to Amazon, which is my Throne wish list. If you don't want to buy something from Amazon, you can check out Throne, see if there's something there that you'd like to buy. And some of those items are through Amazon, which is annoying, but that's how it is. If you want to support me and not spend any money, because we got to get back to model kit building at this point, go over to my Discord. Join my Discord. Hey, join my Discord. It's nice. I post build photos at the end of every stream. People post stuff they're working on. It's a great little community. you are encouraged by me, your friend Pat, to enjoy the wonderfulness that is my Discord. A couple video links for you to check out. A brand new episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club is out. Please watch this episode. I recommend 3 new shows from this season. Is the season more than halfway over? Yes. Should I have done this earlier? Probably. It should have been my last video, but whatever. There's a bunch of recurring stuff, but here is the 3 shows that are new this season that I think are real good and you should check out. Pat Bear's Anime Club, new episode. Please watch that. And then, if you missed my episode from last week, one of the best I have ever done for my series Baerly Rehearsed, where I write and perform a piece of comedy that I have rehearsed some amount. I am, off book and practiced some amount of. Please watch this one if you haven't. It is me doing the TikTok voice, the text-to-speech voice, the OMG, you'll never guess what happened. It's that. I try to do that voice talking about a VHS tape. And it's a one-note joke, but I fucking pound that joke into the ground. And it's one of the best ones I've done, I think. So I would like you to watch that, if you could. If you would be so inclined, please watch that. That's also a short, because of the way I filmed it. And that did okay for me on shorts. It's one of the better shorts that I've had. Which is good. Let's see. All right, I have 3 anime shows to talk about. I will talk about I Shall Survive Using Potions on Thursday's stream, but we're going to talk about some anime. I should just say, before I forget, I will mention it again at the end of the stream, but I did want to mention it here right now for all of you, so you know what's up. Tomorrow's stream, 9 p.m. Eastern, Power Washing Simulator. Power Wash Simulator. We're going Back to the Future. The Back to the Future DLC, which was like $9 or whatever. I have that. We're going to power wash a DeLorean and other stuff. And we'll check out the van, which I already power washed. But that is tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern. We're power washing a DeLorean from Back to the Future. It's cool. It's a cool idea. We're going to check that out. I hope you will tune in for that. All right, I'm going to drink some water. Then we're going to build a model, or keep building this model kit. So let's get into that. We got to get some more progress done here. And before I do that, I do need to dramatically transition back to the overhead. So we'll do that right now. All right. Let's do this thing. And by this thing, I mean work on these side pieces while I talk to you about anime. So we're going to do the 2 shows I normally talk about on Saturday, which I couldn't talk about on Saturday because I did not stream on Saturday because I watched a wrestling show that had a lackluster ending, but the other parts were good. Did I get this undergating done? Hold on. Okay, that's good. We're building our side skirt pieces here, so I gotta make sure I'm putting this on right. That goes on there. That goes on there. Frieren, Beyond Journey's End. Okay, so they're hanging out in the city. They defeated the evil, defeated the demons. Hooray! They pay respect to the demons that to the humans that already lost their life in the conflict. And then they set out because they have a mission. They're on their way. The journey continues with Frieren and our girl Fran and our boy Stark. They gotta go. They plan to drive by a magical city. They're gonna go to a magical city that's nearby or on the way in the northern lands. Because they have to get a first-class mage certification in order to go to the Northern Plateau. Because even though she is quite arguably the greatest mage that ever lived, Frieren, who helped defeat the Demon Lord and save the world, she never bothered to get her certification, and now it is required. Could they and should they make an exception for Frieren? 100%. They absolutely should make an exception for her. They don't. Storyline. So they got to go. So they go through. But on the way to even going and getting the certification, they get caught in a blizzard. And they're on a mountain peak. And Stark begins to suffer from hypothermia, which is no joke. Because he's just like a human dude. He's a pretty strong human dude, but he's still just like a human guy. They find a cabin, and they meet an elf named Kraft. And they hang out with Kraft, kind of like ride out the winter. It's a slow... Hey, this Beyond Journey's End is not a fast storyline, or a fast story. So the fact that they're just hanging out here for a whole winter before they can move on, it makes sense for the story and what they're doing. Kraft is like, I worship the goddess because all my friends are dead, have been long dead, and people have forgotten what I've done. And he's like, when I go to heaven and meet the goddess, she'll be the only one who ever knew what I did. Which is like, this anime gets fucking heavy, right? Like, only God knows what I've done because my whole life is, like, I'm so old that there's no one alive to remember me, is like real heavy shit. That's some fucking deep ass shit. And he's like, if you want to tell me what you've done, I can praise you. I can tell you you've done a good job if that will help you, because because he's decided that will, eventually it'll help him. So he's like, hey, I will tell you did a good job if you want me to. And apparently, Heitler, the priest, also said that once. So he's just like, no, that's okay, Kraft. I've already been told those things. I'm okay. And then Kraft is like, hey, make sure you cherish your time with your party. Which, let's just say that does not need to be said in this show, because that is the big thing of this whole series, is like, cherish your friends, cherish the moments, cherish the memories, live in the moment, and love what's happening as it's happening. Is basically the whole premise of the show. But it was a very poignant episode. And we're starting to move towards the, hey, we have to eventually get that certificate. It's going to be a long road before we get there, but that is like a milestone that needs to get achieved before they can move to the Northern Plateau, where there are still demons about and all that. It's still fucking, it's so good. It's such a good fucking show, y'all. If you're not watching Frieren Beyond Journey's End, it's a cozy and poignant, lovely series. Can't recommend it enough. A show that you probably don't have to watch, but I'm enjoying, is My Daughter Left the Nest and Returned an S-Rank Adventurer. So let's say we see a female elf who confronts another random creature that's searching for its master. That doesn't mean anything yet, but it will mean something later, we imagine. Meanwhile, our main guy, Belgrieve, he's taken in a lodger named Duncan back in town to stay with him. Duncan is considering giving up adventuring, retiring to go find a wife. He is, he's thinking like, maybe I need to stop doing this shit and settle down and raise, start a family. So he's considering giving it all up. There are some monsters around. The lodger Duncan helps Belgrieve and some of the older children um, defending from monsters. And Belgrieve kind of has a moment of being like, "Oh yeah, they're growing up. Someday soon, they'll all go off to be adventurers and leave this place." And he's a little melancholy about it. When he's just gonna, and also because it's part of his own mortality, because he can remember them being young, and he's like, I'm just gonna get older and less capable, which is tough. Then another elf, not the female elf from before, another elf shows up, named Graham the Paladin, who is a well-known person, pretty much world over, and he is looking for that female elf, and reveals that her name is Marguerite, and that's his grandniece, and she is an elven princess. She is the daughter of Oberon, the king, and she left to go take on the demon kings that are coming back, because that's a thing that's fucking happening, is the goddamn demon kings are showing up. All right, I got to put a sticker on this. I'm going to do that right now while I take a moment here to get the sticker on. There are only so many stickers on this kit. This is the second one we have applied in total, so not that many stickers. And we're putting that here on the chest, right there. That's our engine, or this is our power source. This is the power source for the whole kit and caboodle. The Gundam and also the weapons all come from this power source. Hooking up your beam weapon to the thing that powers the whole Gundam is a bonkers choice. I've always appreciated that choice. As I said, it is completely nonsense, but I appreciate that nonsense. Anyway, back to this anime. Graham is trying to find Marguerite before she gets killed. And then meanwhile, our daughter who is the S-rank adventurer, Angeline, is lonely, thinking about her dad. And Miriam is like, you should find a boyfriend, maybe. Maybe the bad advice that perhaps the solution to your problem is to find a boyfriend. And instead she just goes, wait, what if I found my dad a wife so he's not lonely? Because if I'm lonely, he's lonely too. So I should find him a wife, which is, again, not solving her problem, just putting a bunch of nonsense on her dad. And then she's just like, she knows Yuri, who is a retired adventurer, who is now a guild secretary. She's like, Yuri would be a good choice. But she's not really the she's also imagining like this girlfriend would also be a mother figure for me, so maybe not the very strong, hard-headed Yuri. That's probably not going to work. Then there's a Rosette who runs the orphanage, and is motherly, and is like, well, maybe Rosette. So now she's going to pursue that. But meanwhile, while that is all transpiring, a little bit of light fare in this show that is occasionally pretty dark. G5 here, and then G4 over there. Okay, working on our shoulder points here. While that is all happening, Marguerite shows up in the village because she's traveling through. She sees Graham, the dude that she definitely does not want to run into, and then runs off. And then Angeline is trying to do a matchmaking party. She's trying to like organize a party where there are a bunch of available ladies of Belgrieve's age for him to like maybe hit it off. She does run into Byaku and the Saintess and confronts them. So we're going to see, will there be a fight between these people, and there's a larger story afoot between all of these things, and things are heating up a bit on this show. Again, a show I like. I don't know if you need to watch it, but I like it. And then a show that is just cute in a way that I really enjoy, The Family Circumstances of an Irregular Witch, which is a story about a girl who, or a witch, a mortal witch, who finds a young woman or young girl and raises her as her daughter. And she's human and knows some witchcraft, and her mom is a witch. And and is a comedy of errors in some ways, about them not wanting the other to date anyone or anyone to take up their time, worrying about that because they want to have a lot of time together. So this needs to go like this. All right. I got to make sure I'm putting this together properly because the shoulders, I have been told that the arms go into the shoulders in a very particular way, and if I don't do it right, I will fuck things up. So I want to make sure that I am building the shoulders properly to give me full control of that when the time comes. I believe I have built this shoulder properly. I'll find out later, I guess. One shoulder in. Oh yeah, and they're going to flip down once that goes in. Okay. Now I got to build the other shoulder. Again, I am stopping what I'm doing, which is reading my own personal summaries of some anime that I've been watching, because I have one more to talk about here. But I want to make sure I do these shoulders completely and totally accurate, because if I don't, it's going to really fuck me up. All right, so that looks good too. All right, and that goes in like this. Great. And then when I put the back piece in, then it'll fold down over. Oops. Uh-oh. Yep. All right, last anime I want to talk to you about. Family Circumstances of the Irregular Witch, which I gave the brief summary of. Again, G9. That's G9 right here. Okay. All right, so this episode, like 2 parts. Mostly the first episode. The episode is mostly the first part. Second part is really short. Luna asked Alyssa for cooking lessons, which Alyssa refuses due to the danger of it. Because of her, basically, there is a catch with her. She can use very powerful fortune telling, and there's always a cost to great magic. We learn. I don't think we really knew that, but there is a cost to great abilities, and her cost is, the trade-off is, I guess trade-off is probably a good word for it. The trade-off is anything she makes is, any food she cooks is either a complete, utter disaster and terrible, like even almost a natural disaster, or is really weird. It's like surreal, which is a bad descriptor for food. If you are cooking food that ends up being surreal, that's bad news. So she should not be cooking. But Phoenix, who is a mortal, is just like, I'll eat it, whatever. Like, Phoenix don't care. Because Phoenix is just like, I can, I'll taste test your bad food, because what do I care? All right, now, so I guess I might have put these on wrong. This piece is not fitting in properly. This is the back piece here. It's supposed to snap in. It's not snapping in. I may have done this chest wrong. Oh, okay. That was in improperly. So now will it work? Sorry, let me try to get this in here. I may have put this part together wrong. We'll see. This should definitely slide in easier than it is. God damn it. All right, let's try. These seem right. But again, maybe they're not right. Or are they? They seem like I did a good job, but maybe I didn't do a good job, which is fun. It's fun to wonder that. And I don't want to like force anything, because that's, you shouldn't have to. All right, so I got to go back here. Pop these off, take a look at this. Okay. So this would look like, this does look right. And this goes in like that. Yeah, that looks right. Huh. Anyway, apparently Phoenix, you know, the Phoenix is just like, the Phoenix named Phoenix is just like, yeah, all right, I'll eat it. And then Phoenix turns into a chicken. And Phoenix is just in chicken form. And then the Phoenix is still a fucking chicken a week later, and they don't know how to turn it back, and they're freaked out about it. There is so they take him to a pair of sisters who are doctors of magical nature and researchers, and one of them is going bonkers because she has never seen a phoenix before. So she's just like, hell yeah, I got it in. Great. This took forever. I got that in. She's like, I can't wait to dissect this guy. I'm going to dissect this phoenix. And then she gets stopped because, come on, what are you doing? And then, hey, guess what? If you're like, how did they turn the phoenix back into a regular phoenix instead of a chicken? I bet you wouldn't guess the actual answer. I will tell you because you would never guess it. The food that the phoenix ate, the phoenix is just constipated from eating the food. And then once the phoenix takes care of that, boom, back to a regular phoenix. No problem. Which is a wild solution. But is the solution for this episode. So that's most of the episode. The second half is a bit sillier. It is a series of short little bits, like sketches, I guess you would say. Just short little scenes with various characters playing different roles in popular, like well-known fairy tales. Like, not the Disney versions, but like the, like, totally okay to talk about, you know, to recreate in an anime and not get in trouble. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out how this goes. It goes like that. Okay. It goes like that. Great. It's in place. There's so much to do on this kit. All right. Now we can get some armor on here, which is great. We have now built this kit up enough. It's time to build some armor. There is undergating on here, so we got to worry about that. I have a list here of some of them. The Golden Axe, the Silver Axe, and the Third Act. Orc and the Beanstalk. The Little Muscle Maid. Alyssa Riding Hood. Alyssa White. And then Alyssa Riding Hood Part 2. Because Viola and Fennel argue about who is going to be the characters in it. And that's kind of how it ends. It's fine. It's whatever. It's one of those things where like, well, we need another story to finish this off. I guess we'll adapt that part of that isn't necessarily that great from the manga or light novel, I assume. Because it's like fine is how I would describe it. All right, I need 9 and 10, which are here. and there's undergating, so I got to take that off. And that's the anime that I've been watching. It continues to be totally fine. I got again. I'll talk about I Shall Survive Using Potions. I'll talk about that episode this week when I talk about other anime on Thursday. C8 and C7. I need to find that. 8 goes on one side, 7 goes on the other. Now's the part of the stream where I want to hear from you, everybody. What are you watching right now? Are you playing any video games? You doing whatever? I will say this. I don't plan to necessarily review it and give a summary, but I have watched some of the new anime from the new anime version, I should say, of Scott Pilgrim. Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. I have watched the first 3 episodes of 8. Yes, you are correct. I did for this month get Netflix because I wanted to see it. Yellow Crescent says it's awesome. Yeah, I will say, like, I'm not going to get into too much because it is pretty brand new out. That it is a cool show doing cool things, and I appreciate what it is doing and how it is doing those things. I think it is pretty rad. I think it is a pretty fantastic show already, and I am looking forward to seeing more of it. But yeah, I'm already very impressed with Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. But yeah, if you're watching anything, if you're playing any games or anything like that, let me know. I would love to hear from all y'all about what you're playing and what you're watching. I've been playing Hearthstone. I got some new decks in Hearthstone that are pretty damn solid. I'm enjoying my time in Hearthstone, doing all those things. It is going pretty fucking well with the new decks. I look forward to trying out a few other ones. I've got a couple. There's a legendary I need, and I have enough dust for it, so I'm going to have to bite the bullet and just spend the dust to get that legendary, because I'm probably not going to get it in a pack. But I've got a legendary ready that I want for a deck, and then I'm excited about the possibilities of said deck in the future. Let's see, I need A3 and A13. So let me find what those are. A3 is a tiny green piece I'll have to be careful of that goes over the sticker. Got to be careful with that because it's very small. And then as far as games go, I'm still having fun with Like a Dragon Gaiden. That is still an enjoyable anime video game, I should say. That's still a video game I'm liking. Thirsty Suitors, I have played about an hour and a half of. I can say this. If you have Game Pass, you should please check out Thirsty Suitors. I think you will like it. It is a very fun game that I don't think is getting enough love out there. The skateboarding feels really good in a game that is mostly inspired by JRPGs, storytelling game. You know, like it also has a competent skateboarding mechanic that I think is pretty fucking rad. I think the fights are fun. The music is great. I think the characters are fantastic. It's like, yeah, right off the bat, I'm pretty damn enamored with it. It's pretty fucking rad. So Thirsty Suitors, liking a lot. Once it opened up, it took a while to open up, but I think that I'm enjoying my time with Like a Dragon Gaiden. As I said, it did take a while to really get cooking, but it has started to cook. So that has been quite good. A12. We're still working on the chest here, so we'll do that. Yeah, so overall, I am enjoying the video games that I am playing. I could see myself finishing Thirsty Suitors very soon, but I don't know. It all depends. A12 is such a small little piece. I'm going to have to be very careful about getting that into C4, and then I need E18. So let's get C4. We're building the chest here, so we gotta. I don't know why I got quiet on there, but yeah, gotta put this together. Now I'm going to read what you wrote. Crazy says, like a Dragon Gaiden, so far it's good. A smaller, more compact version of the Yakuza games in the final portion of it with the Coliseum fights. Yeah, I think like it took a little while for me to really get into it because it is more compact, and I was like a bit surprised by that. But also because there was just like a main character being unhappy is like, you know, bad things happen, but also that the show is goofy, or the series I should say is goofy enough that Kiryu is often like still finding fun, and it took him a long time to get happy in this one. Lord Crash says, I finished the Back to the Future TLC for Power Wash Simulator. I'll be playing that tomorrow, folks. It's going to be good. That was a fun time. Maybe one little issue is that I had with one job. That's it. Okay, well, there you go. We'll probably find what that is. Well, we're probably not going to see everything in the game, but we'll see a few, or the expansion say, but we should see a few things. I've completed the first thing, and we'll visit that and get a sense of what's going on with the game, and then we'll you know, figure out more of it as we go. So those three pieces need to go together, and then we'll get that together, and then we will continue on with the rest of this thing. So this goes like this. This fits in or around here. Have to figure out how this goes. Does it go like that? This is going to be one of those things where like this little piece fits a very particular way, and I'm not sure how it goes. It's like that how it's supposed to go? I don't know. I can't really tell. I think this is right. And then this locks in. This has undergating on it, which I didn't see at first, so I gotta clip that up. Ursfan says, this past week I finished Alan Wake 2. Fuck yeah. I'm glad you finished it. Quite the game. I'm now poking my way through like a Dragon Gaiden and Super Mario RPG. Oh yeah, that came out. I hope people are having a good time with that. I do not have a Switch, so I am not playing. But I enjoy the RPGs. I enjoy the Mario RPGs, I should say. So I hope that it is going well. That people are having a good time with it. Lashbrook watched Hard Boil this weekend. And honestly, I think it might have been overhyped. I mean, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel, right? I think Hard Boiled fucking whips ass, but Hard Boiled, if Hard Boiled suffers from anything, Lashbrook, it is that it has been recontextualized, remixed, ripped off, so many times. Sometimes a classic is a classic no matter what. And you can go, oh, I see this, and this there. Now I know why this thing happened in this movie, and I get this reference here. And Hard Boiled probably suffers a bit from that, a bit from like people have taken it in different directions, and maybe you like that better. I mean, I think Hard Boiled is still a classic, but I understand. It's one of those things, right? Like, sometimes it's just hard to live up to hype. It may not necessarily, it might not be that it's necessarily been overhyped. Like, that, yeah, you might have just, I don't know how to say this. I'm trying to. Let's see. You know what? I'm gonna grant myself a moment to just think about what I want to say here. I think that Hard Boiled is still a kick-ass movie, but I can understand why you might have been hyped up too much, and it may feel a little deflating watching it, because in your head, or enough people have said such positive things about it that, yeah, I mean, overhyped, I guess, might be the right word. Crazy asked if maybe overexposed, and that might be true. Hard Boiled is not a hidden gem that you discovered. It is a movie that influenced a lot of people to do things certain ways. And it may just be that it has too much. You know what? Here's my thought. Maybe Hard Boiled has too much context. And if it had less context, you would just be like, oh shit, that's cool. I don't quite get what's going on in this part, but that fucking rules, and oh, that shit's awesome and all that. And instead you're like, oh, okay, so they took this way and these people took that and all that. And it just might be, yeah, it just might, it's not new, and it might really need to be new for you to feel it. I don't know. I don't know if I am explaining my thoughts well at all in that way. Last says, I think I might have had different if I'd seen in the 90s, but like there have been so many rad action movies since. Yeah, I mean, that's also the thing, right? Like beyond the fact that maybe you would have liked it more at the time in the context of movies that were coming out then, but then also there are just a bunch of cool fucking movies that have come out since that movie. And maybe, you know, you're just vibing with those more. What if I fucking understood how to put this together? Is this how I put it together? It'd be not. There we go. Okay, that goes like that. Then this kit is just full of so many tiny pieces that all look rad as hell, but like all of them are tiny pieces. And I want all of them to fit right. And I want to make sure I'm doing this properly because I don't want to have to do it again. And it just means that I'm constantly worried that I'm fucking it up. And in some facts, I have. Some ways I have. All right, great. Now we got that there. Now I put the last piece in and we're basically done with a chest, which will be great because we're getting towards the end of tonight's stream. Reminder, tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern, please come back here for the Back to the Future DLC for Power Wash Simulator. I have done the first stage. We'll go and explore that and at least give you a look at it before we continue on with the second one. Washing some vehicles and stuff, and we'll get a little sense of the setting, what they have decided to be the setting, I should say. Okay. All right. I think that's looking all right. I don't think there's any undergating on here. Oh boy. Okay, so this is just going to go on like this. All right. There is more chests to build here, which we will do on our next stream because we're going to wrap things up. So we have more chests to do here. I'm going to just put my marker and just put on here so I know. Occasionally I will do this, not always, but I occasionally throw like a little note to be like, this is the next step. Is a cornerstone of action movies today. There are some that overshadow today, but its influence is ever present. Say with Die Hard and Predator. Yeah. I mean, there are genre-defining movies that are that thing where you're like, oh, this was a reference. Like, Brad Shoemaker now understands has context for certain movies because he has watched John Carpenter's The Thing. And now, movies that have referenced John Carpenter's The Thing make more sense. Those scenes now have context because he's seen the Thing. Have there been other successful movies in that genre? Sure. The Thing still fucking whips ass. And it isn't necessarily like minused by the fact that there's some cool new shit. So I will panel line this chest. We will finish it up there, but I did want to stop for tonight. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. We are going to raid. That is how we end things around here. We're going to go find somebody doing cool shit and go hang out with them. The last several streams, we have been raiding Desert Bus. Desert Bus for Hope is now over for the year. They raised well over $1 million. They are $10 million lifetime. $10 million in 17 years is unfucking believable. Those are imaginary numbers to me. It is remarkable. I was so happy to contribute a This or That again. This is the fourth year in a row for This or That, which I was very happy to be able to contribute to those folks. We are going to raid Mary Kish. We always try to raid Mary on a Monday because it's Mary Monday. She is playing Spiritia. Spirit Tea. I got it. It's Spirit Tea. They're not two words. It's one word. So I really screwed that up. We're gonna raid Mary as she plays through Spirit Tea and find out what that is. And tomorrow, Power Wash Simulator, Back to the Future version. It's gonna be fun. Please come hang out for that. Come on this raid. You have some playlists set to watch. You're gonna have a ball. It's a Spirited Away style Stardew Valley game. Great. Thank you, Lord Crashton, for that. Come along on this raid. It's going to be fun. Mary rules. Come back tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern. Hope you have a great night. I'm glad we're not fucking dropping frames anymore, everybody. That rules. Talk to you soon. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.